All right, guys. So there you have it. The video we never wanted to make is happening right now, and that is the fact that Damian Lillard just requested a trade from our beloved Portland Trailblazers, the team we love so much, the team that just always tried their best to win basketball games with Damian Lillard.
Yeah, sarcasm, obviously. The sad part about this happening is I think if we were all brutally honest with ourselves, we saw this coming. We just didn't want to admit it. He gave us free agency. I don't even know where to start. My brain is completely jumbled right now. I want to, kind of have my piece and go off on a tangent on Joe Cronin and Jody Allen. I also want to go off on Neil Olshey. It's just crazy to me that you can draft a guy 11 years ago, generational talent, from a small school who wants to be in Portland and is a top 75 player of all time, and you mess it up. You don't get him any help. It's very sad. It's a sad story. It's a tragedy. It is a tragedy. It is a travesty. I can throw out all those words, but he has requested a trade. It's gonna hurt. It is going to hurt seeing him in another uniform because he's just a joy to watch on the floor, and I had so much pride knowing that he played for, the Blazers, because no one wants to play in Portland. They're in the corner of the U.S. They don't really get media coverage. When it comes to free agents, we're
straight up. Who wants to live in Portland? Straight up. Let's just get out.
What NBA player? When you, especially in the West, when you have California right to the south. Phoenix is apparently doing their thing. Even like Denver's just from a city perspective. Portland has its struggles, and so the fact that you had someone who wanted to be there and who desperately craved to win there, and all he didn't even ask for the best team in the league. He just wanted a shot. That's such a relative statement. That could be, I want to be top half of the league. I want to be a top 5 seed and just give me a chance. Our GMs couldn't even do that. So can I go on a list here? Can I go? Let's start with Neil Olshey. My guy, how did you have that job for that long? I get you drafted Dame and CJ. 2016 free agency class might be the worst free agency class I've ever seen in my life. I don't think it's gotten worse. Yes, Fred VanVleet just got overpaid by the Rockets. That was pretty sad. The Blazers blew that out of the water with how bad Neil Olshey messed up 2016. 2017 class was pretty bad as well. And then you don't want to pull the trigger on a CJ trade, so you just wasted Dame's career there. And then Joe, I get you're in a.
I'm just gonna cut you off right here because a thought just came to my mind. Do you think Dame requested a trade a couple of days ago when the Blazers wanted to, or maybe a couple, 12 hours ago or 24 hours ago, and the Blazers waited until Saturday morning so they could have the most amount of time before national media is picking it up on a Monday show?
Who knows, man?
For all
you can't put that by anyone. That's how the NBA works. They're constantly GMs are feeding narratives to the media to try to, get value for players and all that. That's a totally valid point.
I actually don't know how.
I don't know if it's true.
How the Blazers can. Obviously, they can recover from this, but how do you earn back respect of the organization? Obviously, there's 10% of the organization that's the loudest part of the organization that's screaming in the comments, well, Dame didn't do anything with us, and Dame wants to we need to trade Dame, but. Reality is, this shouldn't happen a lot. You shouldn't run your star player out, especially when he just had his best season ever. And we said it all the time. We said it in our podcast. He had pocket aces.
Yeah, dude. You had
the best assets in the league to go get a star player, and you would have competed next year. Yeah. I don't care if you're overpaying Jaylen Brown. You're already overpaying Jeremy Grant. Who cares if you're overpaying people if you're competing?
Yeah. I think one thing that
I'm just going to say, we're probably not going to win a championship with Scoot and Shaden. That's crazy. I know everyone assumes we're going to be an elite team for the next 10 years. Well, first off, we're going to be the bottom of the barrel for the next 2 to 3 years, so have fun with that after doing that for the last 2 years. Who knows if Shaden and Scoot stay? Who knows if, I'm just all, I don't know.
What are we doing? Let me pick up here. Let me say something about Joe Cronin. I don't want this to be just it is emotionally charged, but Joe Cronin, maybe in 5 years, it's the right move. It doesn't make it any better that you said you were trying to build around Dame. If you're going to trade him all along or you're incompetent in getting a deal done, don't tell the fans that in the first place. Don't be we're trying to build around Dame. We're going to thread that needle. veterans, size, big help for Lillard. And what happens? We draft Scoot and we draft 2 other rookies, and we don't make a move for Ant and Shaden, and all Nurk does is tweet cryptic things.
Here's the reality. If this does indeed go through, and Dame does get traded, now again we're gonna cope here. I'm coping right now. I know Dame's gonna get traded, but Kevin Durant did request a trade in the summer last year and didn't get traded. So maybe a miracle happens and Dame doesn't get traded, but we are 99.9% sure he probably does. That means Dame's gone. That means Nurk's probably gone. That means Grant, even though he just re-signed, you have to think they're going to start exploring trades for Grant. Now, I don't know if they can get off that contract now. That contract, even though it was looking to overpay yesterday, it looks even worse now that he's going to be on a terrible team. Ant could possibly gone. I think the only 2 players that are safe are Scoot and Shaden. And for all we know, we might just cut more young players, because what does this trend in Watford wave look like now?
I don't know. And when it comes to Jeremy Grant, just ripple effects, I could totally see Jeremy Grant now being dangled in trade offers, and we just take back 2 big expiring contracts. We have cap space next year. In a couple seconds. Because, we're going into a rebuilding mode. And for all the people that wanted to trade Dame, congratulations. You now have the worst team in the league at a tough time when right now Adam Silver said he wants to keep the Blazers in Portland, but the Moda Center lease is up in 2025. We have an owner who doesn't give a rip about the team. It's a bleak situation right now in Portland. And now the one guy who put butts in the seat, who gave the Blazers any inkling of a national footprint, now wants to leave. And the best part about it for Dame is you can't blame him for any of this. He is 100%. I'm 100% okay with him requesting a trade. He honestly deserves a chance to win, and I'm just disappointed in the franchise that they couldn't get it done. It's a sad day. It's a sad day. And in 7 years, if we win a title with Scoot and Shaden, I will be the loudest person there, because at the end of the day, it's team over player. As much as Dame is the Blazers, it's team over player.
But I got no faith in a team to build a championship.
If
we can't build a championship team around Dame, why are we building a championship team around Scoot and Shaden? I'm just saying.
If you're the track record's not there. If you're watching this and you're like, this is the right move for Portland, you guys are too hung up on Dame. Maybe it is, but in order to win a championship, you have to make moves, savvy moves, get guys on good deals, draft well. Our franchise does not do that. So if you think Joe Cronin is going to 180 here and in 5 years or in 3 years get Shaden help, what makes you think that's going to happen? I'm just asking. It might happen, but what makes you think it's going to happen? What has Joe Cronin done? What has he said? What are the actions he's made that are going to make you believe that? I don't understand.
And this is coming from people that had Joe Cronin's back for a majority of his tenure. We had his back through the trade deadline when we traded CJ. We just a week ago. Now, I said I didn't.
Cody
believe
and
in him.
I said that we
believed in him,
and that could just asleep right now. He's gonna wake up.
That could just be blind faith, but it looks like it's gonna be Miami or Brooklyn. We're not gonna go in depth on this right now. Just all I'm saying, we're not gonna get a great package back. That's the reality.
I think what
we'll
we're
go
gonna
more
do
in depth
is we're
on
gonna come out with
podcast.
another video or on the podcast and discuss what we could even get. In my opinion, I'm super frustrated right now because Miami's centerpiece is Tyler Hero. And the 76ers centerpiece is Tyrese Maxey. We want guards. Maybe Joe Cronin wants guards. Maybe we need more guards.
And by the way, if we're trading with the Nets, the only way salary works is we're getting Ben Simmons. So have fun with that, guys.
Who needs the ball in his hands even though you just drafted Scoot?
All right, that's going to do it.
Oh, boy, guys. Yeah.
I would love for you guys to try to enlighten me on why this is a good thing for the city of Portland. So let us know in the comments, and goodbye.